right. Thanks for Expression Center for hosting us. The website, xnewmedia.com, that's right? That's right. All right. Expression.edu works also. Thanks for listening to Channel 104.9, and if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be able to do stuff like this. My name's Johnny X, and before we get started, a couple things that we want to make sure that you're aware of. Was it one? Hold on. Oh, shut your cell phone off. All right. As you all know, from being Tori fans, that the music is very amazing. We don't want anybody's experience to be ruined by cell phones. Turn your cell phone off, your pager. Please, no cameras. If you take a camera, we're going to have to take your camera and take the picture off. The reason we do that is because we don't want to distract from the performance. It's not a photo shoot, it's a performance. We want everybody to enjoy it the most without having shutters and all that. So no video, no pagers, everything. Is that cool? Yeah. All right. And after the performance, if you wouldn't mind staying in your seat so we could give Tori a peaceful exit. Notice a lot of you brought flowers and gifts for Tori, which I know she's going to love. And Joel wants to accept them for you. You want to wave your hand so can you see Joel over here? All right. He'd be happy to pass your gifts along to Tori. All right. And he will make sure that she receives your gift and know she appreciates it. Just that way we keep everything straight. And in just a second, we'll have Tori out here to play a few songs. And we've randomly selected some of your questions for her to answer. And hope this is amazing for you. Thanks for coming out. Please welcome Tori Amos.
How's it going? Good? Should I play a little song first? Is that the idea? Yeah. I'm not sure who's fooling who here as I'm watching our decay. We both know you could fly to southern hurricane. Seems like you and your judge decided you'd rewrite the law, segregate the mind from body, from soul. I'll give you mine, 'cause I can't look you good right in the eye. You give me yours, I'll give you mine. You used to look my God right in the eye. I believe in the funding and what we once stood for. Seems invoked to be a closet misogynist, a homophobe. A change in course and not direction, a dash of true spread thin line, like a flight on a pop star, on a benzodiazepine. You give me yours, I'll give you mine, 'cause I can look your God right in the eye. You give me yours, I'll give you mine. You used to look my God right in the eye. I'm not sure who's fooling who here could deflate a southern hurricane. You could have spit her open. Messiahs need people dying in their name. You could have spit her open. Messiahs need people dying in their name. You say I ordered you a pancake. You say I ordered you a pancake.
We've taken the time to write a few questions for you, Tori, starting with Liza Metters. Liza Metters.
Hi, Liza.
Liza would like to know how you choose the songs that you cover.
You probably run through quite a few that nobody hears. So it's not as if you all hear the ones, every single one I do. There are a lot of them hidden. This is why it's good to own your own studio. So that, unlike the Radiohead record, things don't get out. So basically, either the guy that's in the studio I'm either married to, or I will shoot. If those tapes get out, I have no issue with that. You need to understand I'm completely against guns, but I will shoot them. So if that, I'm like a virgin cover that I did on Margaritas many years ago with Matt Chamberlain and this bass player, Beck's bass player, like doing dog sounds in the back, that you won't hear that one. So you try a few things.
We have another question from Jennifer Anderson, and she would like to know if your child influenced any of the songs on Scarlet's Walk.
I guess, it's odd. You don't know sometimes how a kid affects you, because I'm not writing children's songs per se. Some people go off and then write children's books or children's records or whatever. But I think that more than anything, maybe my position changed as far as how I saw myself. So I'm almost 40, and I see myself more in the next generation. I don't see myself like you, which is I'm just, a lot of people go and try and get all the beauty aids to think that they're 24 when you're not. And I must say, there's so many great things about being that age. But there are other things that you can gain when you get older. And so there is a trade for lines on your face. There's an exchange if you do the work. There are things you can't have when you're 24. You just can't, because you haven't had enough hormonal problems yet to have the grace to know how to deal with it. Or just be, a gripey old lady. So the thing is, I think having a child made me want to be a lighthouse, not need to compete. Like maybe I was doing when I was 34. You compete with other torchbearers out in the ocean on their ships, spreading the word, passing messages and that kind of thing. And when I became a mom anyway, I realized, well, wait a minute, all these young gals that are going out there and discovering different things and putting their ideas out there have to come back to shore sometimes. And it's important for those of us who've been out there to hold a space. And I have a daughter, and it's good to be a lighthouse. It's a different role being a lighthouse than it is being this wild ship out in the night, you know, those mass mermaids out there. That was a good time. I must say, I had some fun. But it's very different when you become a mom. It was for me anyway. I have no idea if I answered your question.
Would you like to play another song and then we'll ask you a couple more questions?
I'd do that.
Gotta love to turn my little blue world upside down. Gotta love to turn my little blue world upside down. Inside my head the noise, chatter, 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 chatter. You see I'm afraid I'll always be still coming out of my mother upside down. Don't you love to turn this little blue girl upside down? Oh, I know you love to turn this little blue girl, baby, upside down. But my heart, it says, you've been shattered, 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 shattered. And I know you're still a boy, still coming out of your mother. But when you gonna stand on your own? I say the world is sick. You say, tell me what that makes us, darling. You see, you always find my faults faster than you find your own. I say the world is getting rid of the demons. I say, baby, what have you been smoking? Well, I dreamed, I loved a black boy. My daddy would scream, ooh yeah. Don't you love to turn this little blue girl upside down? Any kind of touch I think is better than none, even upside down. But you see I'm tangled up. I got a kitten, 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 kitten in my hair. Cincinnati, I like the word. It's the only thing we can't seem to turn upside down. I found the secret to life. I found the secret to life. I'm okay when everything is not okay. I said I found the secret to life. I found the secret to life. I'm okay when everything is not okay. Is not okay. Oh, we turn my little blue world upside down. I said, don't we love to turn our little blue world, baby, upside down? Inside my head a voice, chatter, 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 chatter. And it says, girl, you're all the same, still coming out of your mother, still coming out of your mother's upside down.
would like to ask you how you found your musical voice, or how do you find your musical voice?
It's constant, I think, work. So, and your voice changes, I think, what you want to talk about. And let's face it, things you talked about 2 years ago, if you try and talk about it now in the same way, you're not seeing it the same. So I think it's important. I've been saying this quite a bit recently, to have a way of working. And one thing I do is I have like a palette. So I have a lot of visual artists surrounding my world. The piano is surrounded by a library. And I bring books in and out, and they change every 2 months. And so it pushes me maybe to think of a subject, snowboarding, for example, in a way that I wouldn't normally. So I immerse myself in that for a while. And then maybe at the same time, I'm looking at certain architects. And then that way, your vocabulary starts changing. And I always have different rhythms coming in to my audio library. So you start expanding. Now this might not mean much if you're working on your first record, but if you're working on your 8th record, then the public usually has excavated you. They think they have anyway, by your first record. Or second if nobody heard the first one. So it's important that you don't feel like you are held hostage to what people think you should be, or that you don't, you can't stop growing. And I don't know, I find that I discover things all the time, and if I'm discovering things, I figure other people will with my work. So that's what I do. It's a constant way of working, way of living. I don't just sit down at a piano and come up with 12 great songs. It does not work like that. Come up with 200 songs, out come 12. Maybe it takes 8 months to write one. You write a bridge in a week, and then it takes you the other 7 months to come up with the rest, and you have hundreds of choices placed on the floor like a bloodline, how you're going to do it. Similar, I would think, to how an architect would build something. You have options on rooms and how you're going to make them. And so that's what I do. It's a process and it's a skill. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to, take a journey on some elixir and write something great. That's ludicrous. Maybe that happens once.
We have a question from Aaron Quigley from Cupertino. Wants to know what inspired you to go to Montana for your Scarlet Swap photographs.
Well, Kurt Marcus, the photographer, inspired me to go there. I loved his work. Somebody turned me on to it. And I don't know if you're familiar with his work, but he's really respected by other photographers. And I heard about him through other photographers. And as you all know, sometimes you hear about somebody that might not be getting a lot of quote-unquote commercial attention from other artists in their field. And that's how you become aware of their work. So I started opening myself up to what he did, and he had just done a book about cowboys. And I loved the way that he shot them. And so called him up and sent him the music, and immediately had some ideas. And he felt that Montana was one of the few places in America where you don't need permits, and Hollywood hasn't completely jaded everybody in the town and made them so angry that you can't even walk in and take a photograph without jumping through hoops of 2 months of paperwork going back and forth. So he said, why don't you just bring your buddies and come? So we did. I brought my buddies, and we went for days and days and days, and it was heaven, and fell in love. I'd been there before, but not in that way.
Right, this one is from Shannon Doe, and it's a very profound question. What do you do when you get a really annoying song stuck in your head?
I start rewriting it. So give me an annoying song.
Linkin Park.
What's the South Echo?
She wrote it's the Alan Parsons Project.
The Alan Parsons Project, is that what you said?
That's what she wrote here.
What's the song? Let's rewrite something. Come on.
Skyrockets in flight.
What?
Skyrockets in flight.
Da, 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 da. My shoes have bubble gum on them. You know, you just have to rewrite it in your head till you own that song totally and completely. You are a scum, and I'm gonna call you. Ding, ding, ding. And you call them up. Bet you $5 somebody will be singing "You're a Scum." So that's what I do anyway.
Thanks so much for answering our questions and playing our songs for us. They tell me that you'll play one more song for us.
Strange, thought I knew you well. Thought I had read the sky. Thought I had read a change in your eyes. So strange, woke up to a world that I am not a part, except when I can play a stranger. After all, what were you really looking for? And I wonder, when will I learn? Blue isn't red, everybody knows this. And I wonder, when will I learn? When will I learn? Guess I wasn't deeper than I thought I was. If I have enough love for the both of us, just stay. You said we'll build a nest, so I left my life, tried on your friends, tried on your opinions. So when the bridges froze and you did not come home, I put a snowflake under a microscope. After all, what was I really looking for? And I wonder, when will I learn? Maybe my wish knew better than I did. And I wonder, when will I learn? When will I learn? Guess I wasn't deeper than I thought I was. If I have enough love for the both of us. So strange. Now I'm finally in. The party has begun. It's not like I can feel you still, but strange what I will leave behind. You call me one more time, but now I must believe it.
Thank you very much. Hope that was amazing for you. Have a good afternoon.